parts. And it happens when you get like the integral of the natural log of x. These are pretty common. The integral of the inverse tangent of x. That's because I don't have a new machine. Okay, so that type of thing is when I'm going to end up with integration by parts. Another one would be x times the sine of x. If you do a regular u substitution, it won't work for you. That's the problem. And it comes from the product rule. But the integral of u dv is equal to u times v minus the integral of v du. Remember that?
Yep.
And does it help if I say, because it's the product rule?
What? No, that's good. No.
Is that good enough? Because the product, it's where it comes from. It's undoing the product rule. So let's do the integral of the log of x. Look familiar? And then on your integration by parts handout, there was a list of functions that you would want to put in for u and dv. What I want u to be is something that's going to change. Or something I can't integrate. Yeah, you can use that little thing, but I never remember it. So I know that I don't know how to integrate that, so that's the u part, and this is the dv part. It's a v. So u equals the log of x, then du. We will. I'm just reviewing reviewing by parts. So du is what? 1 over x dx. And if dx is equal to dv, then what's v equal to? So if I try to do it the other way around, I'm in trouble because I don't know how to integrate log of x. So in this case, when I do integral of x sine x, I would like this to be the u, and this is going to be the dv. Even though I could integrate x, I could switch them. The problem is when I integrate x, it becomes x squared, and it doesn't go away. But if I let u equal x, the derivative of x is 1. Okay, so it's u times v minus the integral of v du. And you might have to do integration by parts twice, and you're going to hope not. So u times v is x times log of x. And this might be one you want to memorize. And it's v, it's the integral of v, which is x. Du is 1 over x dx. And I've memorized it, so I didn't have to do this. And this is the integral of 1 dx. And there you go. Minus x plus c. What's she doing? Okay. I think we should do the whole problem in 2007.
What problem?
2007, number 4. Because it's okay. Now, this is the double bubble problem. You guys haven't heard that expression. It's the double bubble. We get 2 scantrons to fill in on this one, because the first 2 parts are AB topics, and the third part is the BC topic. So they could do this again. It's been since 2004 since they put integration by parts on the exam.
Seriously?
What's the last one? 7. Oh, sorry, 2004. 2007, so it's 5 years. So it's possibility it'll be a double bubble one again, or they'll have something else. They've had Euler in the double bubble. Sorry. It's okay. It's okay. So why don't you guys try that?
What? Yeah, I just put E in, yeah.
Oh my god.
B, is the graph concave up or down? And when it says give a reason for your answer, I give the reason first. How do you know if something's concave down? F double prime must be less than 0. Concave down. So that's what I do. I figured that out. So that tells me I need to find the second derivative. These are the AB topics. Because 60% of the exam is AB, which is why we go over all the AB material again. And the scores are extremely high. I think we got like 4.6 on the AB subscore as an average. Yeah, they're very high. And then the BC scores are usually around 4 as an average. So you're going to have to do what rule here? Product rule. So f prime is equal to x squared times the derivative of the log of x plus the log of x times the derivative of x squared, which is 2x. And what I want to do is see where this is negative, so we'll find the 0. So f double prime is equal to x plus 2x log of x. Some of you are going to want to divide by x. You can in this case because x can't be 0. Why can't it be 0?
What?
I took the second derivative.
How did you get from x squared? Oh, I didn't put the element of x.
Yeah. What's about the domain here? X. So I'm okay to divide by x, but I don't recommend it. So why don't we factor it? And it's 1 plus 2 log of x equals 0. Either x equals 0 by 0 product property or 1 plus 2 log of x. Remember how to solve this. Now you probably get the point for making this line right there, because they try to give you points. Remember how to solve it? Anytime you are solving an equation, you always want to isolate your x. So I want to get this log of x all by itself. Right. So the natural log of x equals negative 1/2, and then we have to exponentiate it. So x equals e to the negative 1/2. Now that's the 0. So that's 1 over the square root of e. This is a non-calculator problem. Yes. So I'm going to have to know something. I know it's between what?
2007.
Not question 3, 1 through 3. But it says on the interval from 1 to 3. So how about, I know that that's going to be somewhere between 1 and 3. At least I'm going to assume it is. And e is just 3. So it's 1 over the square root of 3. Whatever that is. There's my 0. Why don't we test 1? We need to do our second derivative and see where this is negative.
I thought it was asking.
Where is it concave down?
Oh, on the interval. Okay.
This is double prime.
So if I put in 1, what's the log of 1?
I'll put 1 and 0.
If I put 1 in, then that's positive, right? But we put in 3. 3 plus 2 times 3, yeah. Log of 3. And those are positive too. So it's never concave down. Unless I made a mistake. Just because...
Why did we have to find the zeros? Like, we just test 1 and 3. Or like 1, 2.
Don't we have to test 1 over square root of e into the...
That's 0. That's 0. This would be an inflection point if these change signs. But it's not. It's concave up. Well, that's what I think. So there's my derivative. I got 2 points for the second derivative, 1 point where the answer is the reason. Did I read the question wrong? Oh, is it ask it if it is? Oh, so it's concave up. Why did I do concave? Oh, I've only read half the question. Sorry. Make sure you read the whole question. Okay, so since I would say since f double prime is greater than 0, it's concave up. Be real clear about this on the interval from 1 to 3.
Why did we have to find e to the negative 1/2?
That would be where it would change signs. You don't know where it's going to change.
So we just have to. But you didn't use 0 because it's not on the interval.
But the only place it could change from concave up to concave down is
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So you didn't know where to test. And how many points was that? That's 5 points. We haven't even done integration by parts. That's the AB score. Now,
But what if you don't do the BC part? You still get like
you'll get a 0 on the BC part if you don't get it.
you don't get points for BC.
No, you wouldn't get those points because it's a different scantron.
Oh.
I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but I do know we have to do it twice. I've always created the double bubble for some reason. And it says find f. So it's the integral of x squared log of x. Some people have already done that. See, that was 5, so this can be 4 points. You want to check your answer, don't you? The rest of you don't look.
Wait, I'm messed up really bad.
Okay, 2 points for the antiderivative. I don't know what else it asked for. There it is, and you got this. You get this?
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget to put the C in.
But yeah, but see, I got
Just trying to get C. You get a point for substituting that point in. And don't worry about simplifying your answer. If you want to say C is equal to 2 minus e cubed over 3 plus e cubed over 9 and not simplify that, please do so. No reason to simplify it. Okay, should we do it? Let's do it. Where do you want U to be? So U is equal to the natural log of x. Then what's du? 1 over x. dv is x squared dx. You know what? And if this doesn't work, you do it the other. You turn it around. She's happy. So it's x cubed over 3. There it is. So it's u times v, x cubed over 3 times ln of x minus v, which is x cubed over 3, times du, which is 1 over x dx. This isn't that bad. Now, by the way, you can do integration by parts for a regulated substitution. It's just hard, but you can do it. Because some of my students like to do it when they first learn it. They like to do it for every problem. I'm going to pull the 1/3 out, so it's x squared dx. Did I do that right? So it's 1/3 x cubed over 3 plus c.
Wait, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure she's not bugging you.
That's the answer. We don't have to simplify anymore.
You have to substitute in the initial condition.
Okay.
Because it says find f of x. It goes through E2.
Oh no, we have to do. We have to find C.
That's not bad. You get a point for trying, I believe. It's e cubed over 3.
But it doesn't say it as what you need.
Right, I want it in general. But it's only 1 point. And you don't even have to simplify the log of e. So if you make it 0, you're going to lose your point. If you leave it log of e, you'll be fine.
Because 1.
Yes. It's bread. You guys don't like bread. So we always try regular U substitution first.
Oh, you substitution work.
It does.
What year are you on here?
This is 2008. Oh, I don't want it all the way. Oh. So if I let U equal x squared, or you know what? It could be e to the x
Oh,
squared.
it's multiple choice.
Yes, multiple choice.
So let's do just x squared.
It doesn't matter. It works out the same. Your other option when you're taking the exam is just to differentiate these. But that'll take
longer if you do all of them.
It'll take longer. I think it'll take longer. So what's du?
2x, but then it's
dx. You got to keep track of everything.
You have to get rid of the 2.
Right. I want just this piece here, because that's what I have right up here. So what's going to be out in front? A 2 or 1/2? 1/2 the integral of e to the u. And that's easy. That's e to the u. Plus c. Or 1/2 e to the u, which is x squared, plus c.
Okay.
Okay. Also, read through all the answers before you choose. Because sometimes there's more than one answer. And you'll say, oh, I found it. No, no. So make sure you read through them all. You do not need integration by parts here. But when I gave you that question, you guys did integration by parts. You can do it. It's just miserable. So what do you have to do before you can integrate that? What do you guys think?
Separate.
Can't you divide it? Isn't this the same as x squared over x plus 1 over x?
Then you can make them into separate.
I never write it as separate integrals, but go ahead and do that one. Okay. 2008 number 5 has integration by parts in it. And you're trying to find f of 3. That's what part C is. But go ahead and do the whole thing, because it's kind of similar to the other one we did. So if you forgot what e to the x looks like, e to the x looks like this.
At 1 it equals 7, so it's positive. Not like 5.
You guys, what does e to the minus x look like? It looks like this.
Wait, what does ln of x look like?
We'll get there. I'll put it on a different graph though.
So would you
And this is the log of x.
because it goes, okay, just like, okay, this is that. There you go, since you're gonna
Remember, it's just the inverse of e to the x. Fix that. I didn't fix it very well.
yeah.
And because e to the x is always positive, then you just use a test line of 3, and you know it's y equals x minus 3, so it's going to look like this. So it's negative, positive, that's 0. I don't care if it's undefined, that would be okay too. So it's going to be a minimum because f prime goes from negative to positive. Keep it simple, keep it organized. Boy, were they easy on the grading on that one. Yeah, that was, I would think, 1. Because they gave you the point.
So, Wait, e to the x equals the derivative of 1.
No, so look back at your graph. E to the x is always like this, never 0. Just as log of x, can't be 0 in the log function. Think of their inverses, so the domain and range switch. Oh. It's the product rule.
So it's x minus 2.
Yeah. No, I thought it was x minus.
It's x minus 3 e to the x. So f double prime is equal to x minus 3 times the derivative of e to the x, which is e to the x,
It's the same thing. Yeah. Is 3 plus 0 then?
plus
Plus 1.
e to the x times the derivative of x minus 3.
So it doesn't equal 1.
And now we're trying to find out where this is concave up, so what we're going to do, or with the we want it concave up. Let's factor out e to the x. Then it's x minus 3 plus 1.
Why plus 1? Wait,
Product rule.
that's what Sarah.
Which is equal to e to the x, x minus. So then you have to test. And it's very similar to the last one, because e to the x is always positive. That would be a line. But you could test the regions. That's a 2, right? If I put in 1, that's going to be negative.
So
it's concave. It's increasing from 3 to infinity, right? And it's concave up. This is an and. 2 to infinity. I want both of these to be true. So the answer, no, no. It's increasing from 3 to infinity. Oh, is it decreasing? Oh, see, read the problem. Both are decreasing in concave up. Okay, so just do that. Just cross it out on the exam. Don't waste your time. So it's decreasing from 3, and it's increasing, or concave up from 2. So it'll be from 2 to 3. And the last part is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. 3 points. You got to be careful. Because you're not starting at the origin. You have to use the fundamental thermal calculus. Okay. 2 points for the second derivative, 1 point for the final answer there. Well, that's 5. You're more than halfway right now.
Okay, so.
It's not starting at the origin.
Oh, you can just.
So it says find the value of.
Why does that mean it's not starting? I would just assume that meant that was just a point. How did you know it wasn't starting at the origin?
It says you have your function there, and f of 1 is equal to 7.
Can't you just do y?
You're just going to have to find. There are a couple ways you can do it, but you're going to have to use your c value again. That's not that bad. I was thinking of a different way. So guess what you have to do to that? Integrate it. You have to integrate this plus c, and then put that in and find c. They did it a little differently, I think.
What is e to the x considered a log or an exponential?
Exponential.
Okay, so it'd be x minus 3 first. Right?
Well, you got to. So f prime is equal to x minus 3 e to the x. So f is equal to the integral of that. Now you could distribute, or you could do it this way. It's up to you. Because if you do it this way, x e to the x, that's one that's integration by parts, but the other one isn't. Minus 3 integral e to the x dx, that's just e to the x, so we're okay with that one. And what do you want u to be? Do you want to do it from this first one or from the second one?
Let's do x minus 3.
Okay. So we're going to use this one. So f is equal to the integral. It has to work either way. So this is going to be u. This is going to be dv. And that should work. Do I need to do it, or are you going to do it? So dv is equal to e to the x dx. What's v? E to the x. So it's u times v. So it's x minus 3, e to the x, minus e to the x times du. X minus 3, e to the x, minus e to the x plus c, and this is f. And it goes through, this was a nice problem, this isn't bad at all. It goes through what point?
1, 7.
1, 7. So 7 equals 1 minus 3, e to the 1 minus e to the 1 plus c. So 7 equals negative 2e minus e plus c. So this is 7, this is minus 3e plus c. 7 plus 3e. Don't forget to answer the question. F of x is equal to x minus 3, e to the x, minus e to the x plus 7 plus 3e. Did I do it right?
I took this part, why we can't integrate from 1 to 3, so then we would not find.
We want to find the function. We're not finding the value of the integral from 1 to 3. We're actually finding f.
Yeah, but then wouldn't it be f of 3 minus f of 1? And
Yeah, we're not trying to find f of 3. We're trying, oh, we are trying to find f of 3. Oh, okay. Gee, I'm not really bad about reading the problem set. Yeah, I could do that. So you could do it this way, find f of 3. So what's f of 3? It should work either way. Let's do it both ways. Well, it says find f of 3. So f of 3 should be, if I did it right, 7 plus 3e minus e cubed. The other way to do it is to use the fundamental theorem and integrate 1 to 3 of f prime of x dx, which is equal to f of 3 minus f of 1. So f of 3 is equal to f of 1 plus this integral. Not a calculator problem. Do we get the same answer? If I don't, I'm in trouble. That's how they did it.
Thank you for my
I must have missed the, oh, okay. I must have missed the answer to that, so let me. goes on. I don't know if people just think it gets harder. It's number 5, so number 6 is usually harder yet. Oopsie. I haven't recorded all that. Oh well. And that's logistic, because that really is this. dp dt is equal to 1/5 p, 1 minus p over 12. And as I said before, they will never, ever ask you to find the solution to that. Because you guys all did it in class, so you know how hard it is. Yeah, and people thought this was solving this equation. Look at it. It's different. So do you remember what to do? I don't like the capital Y, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it a little y. And I know that, you know, a lot of people tried to solve it. Solve this as a logistic one, and they wrote down the answer, because that's why I won't even teach you what the answer to the logistic is, because it's not going to happen. What's the first thing you do? Okay. Yeah, separate the variables. So you guys should do it. This is like, let's see, this was 3 points, this is going to be 6. So you should do it. I've multiplied through by dt. Now when I do these, what are you guys doing over there?
What?
My dogs. Now what I do is I leave everything over here except for the variable I got to get rid of. And the variable I have to get rid of is y. So that ends up being dy over y, and remember last year there were a lot of answers with exponentials in it. This is going to have that as well. Would you like to distribute that? It's 1/5 minus t over 60. I think that's the easiest way to do it. dt. And then you integrate. So what's the left side? dy over y is the log of, and what has to happen here? Absolute value of y. I saw a lot of students without that absolute value. So it's equal to 1/5 of t minus t squared over 2 times 60. What has to happen next? What has to happen next? Has to happen right now. And you can't just bring that c down later because you like to do that. Yeah, you get really in trouble. And now we find c. So, well, what have we got right now? We've got 1 point for separating. And I think it's going to be 2 points, one for each side. So we're up to 3. Now we're at 4 points because we added c. But you won't get the log of, if you don't have the absolute value in this log of absolute value y, you will not get the point for that side. Okay? And then we're going to substitute in our ordered pair, which was 0, 3. When I'm looking at my AB students doing this, they always want to solve for y first. Don't do that. Put in 0, 3 right now, because it's much easier to find c in this situation than it is to solve for y and figure it out. You can. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's hard. And I've done it this way all year. Oh, that's nice. You know, it doesn't take me very long to show the zeros. I don't have to, but you know, I like to get it right. So c equals the log of 3, and then don't get fancy about your solutions either. Do not simplify unless you are absolutely certain you are correct. We know how to check your answer, so don't worry about it. And now what do we do? Solve for y by raising both sides, e to that side and e to this side. But because I've graded these before, not this problem, but I've graded problems similar. A lot of people pull the log of 3 down. You can't. It's in the exponent. So this ends up being, also a lot of people like to throw away the absolute value sign. You can't do that either. So if you don't know how to simplify this, then don't. Is that okay? Simplify that? I mean, we can do that because this is this. This is e to the 1/5 t minus t squared over 120. I really can't make that any nicer. Times, sorry, e to the log of 3. The minute you put plus in there, you're done because it's wrong.
Plus or minus.
Yes, I have to do y equals, and we'll do plus or minus. You like that there. So if I simplify this, I don't have to. I can just leave it like it is. So y equals plus or minus 3e to this. And I would say, more often than not, they take the negative answer. And the only way for you to know is to go back and look at the initial condition. This particular one, I believe, is a positive because it's 0, 3. So when t is 0, I want y to equal positive 3. So I'm going to take the positive one here. So make sure you answer the question. It just kills me to see them get all the way to the end and have the wrong sign. So you have differential equations to solve in your test. The only logistic one that I can remember, by the way, I don't have a place for it. To me, it's kind of easy, so I don't expect to see that. But if you want me to look through. Okay. Okay, let P represent the number of wolves. The population is increasing at a rate directly proportional to. So dP dt is K times 800 minus P of T. Yeah, I think that's what they want. This K. You should recognize it's PERT. Remember, leave the K here, separate your variables. So dP is equal to K times 800 minus P, just to make life easy, dt. What do you have to do now? You have to separate. And it's always multiply, divide. So it's 800 minus P.
So it's 1 over 8. I thought it was P of T.
It's P of T, but I'm just going to leave it P. Just because it looks nicer. So dP divided by 800 minus P, this is just like the waste problem. And we can find, so we're going to integrate that. Yes, and this is the problem right here. This is the log of, negative log of the absolute value of 800 minus P. And if you don't believe that, take the derivative. So you're going to have a negative sign because of that negative sign right there. Equals KT. Then what has to happen next? Plus C. If there's anything you can prepare for, it's this. And now it says P of 0 is equal to 500. So we'll go ahead and substitute that in. And I don't have a scoring rubric, so I kind of have to do this. So it's 800 minus 500
ln, or negative ln of 3.
equals k times 0 plus c. That's right. You're noticing that they're all the same? Negative log of 300. Can I bring that negative sign inside there? No. Saw that a lot. And so what does it ask for? Find, okay, so the answer is, when we look at the first question, find P of t in terms of t and k. So what do I have here? I have this line right here. Negative log of absolute value of 800. This is not easy, minus p, is equal to kt minus the log of 300. And now what are we going to do to both sides? Because they want you to solve it. Yeah. Ah, that's the problem. Be careful. So it's e to the negative log of, or you know what, before we do that, maybe we should just get rid of the negative. That's easier. How do we get rid of the negative? Yeah, let's multiply by, or divide by negative either way. So if I divide by negative 1, and negative 1, I'm going to get the log of the absolute value of 800 minus p equals log of 300 minus kt. Okay, now we can do this e thing. Otherwise, you end up with a reciprocal, and you can do it. It's just harder, so it's just easier to do this. So e to the log of the absolute value leaves me absolute value of 800 minus p equals, you might as well just leave it, e to the log of 300. And you can change that if you want. You can leave it like that too, and then we're not done. We still have to solve for p. So 800 minus p is equal to plus or minus this thing. So there's a lot of stuff with the signs. So we'll subtract 800. So minus p is equal to plus or minus e to the log of 300 minus kt minus 800. And now let's switch the signs. So p is equal to plus or minus. We could do minus plus. It doesn't matter. Oh, since that 800 is positive, why don't we put it in the front? So it's 800 plus or minus e to the log of 300 minus kt. It goes out all night. Okay, so what do I know? I know P of 2 is 700. Okay, so this is 700 equals 800 plus or minus e to the log of 300 minus 2k. Personally, it would have been easier to solve back here. Do you want to do it here? It's easier to do it there. You don't have to do all that work anyway, but okay, so negative 100. I've got to figure out, well, what do you think this has to be? If this is going to be 700 and that's 800, is it the plus or the minus? Because now you know. How can you get this down to 700 if it's got to be the minus? So it's minus e. Well, you know what? I'm going to simplify that because this is e to the log of 300 times e to the minus 2k, just because it's going to be easier for us. Well, she wants to play. So negative 100 equals, this is negative 300, because that's just 300, e to the minus 2k. And we'll divide by negative 300. So 1/3 looks much nicer, e to the minus 2k, and then how do you solve for k? Yep, log both sides. So the log of 1/3 equals negative 2k times the log of e, but we know the log of e, that's just 1. So k is equal to negative log of 1/3 divided by 2.
So in college, when we take math, are the questions going to be like questions, or are they like harder?
Harder, probably.
So I feel like all these questions are
They are. That's good that you feel like after you've done enough of them, that they are so similar that if you do a bunch of them, you're going to walk in there and you're going to be comfortable. They'll change the context. But after you get past that, you read it, oh, you're going to say, oh, it's just the waste problem. This is just the waste problem. And then we have to put that in there. Where's my... Okay, where are we? Right here. So we can put that in there. We already decided it was minus. So P is equal to 800, and we already took the 300 down, so it's minus 300. E, and it's the negative KT, and K was negative. So I can get rid of the negative. Log of 1/3 divided by 2. And there's a lot of things you could do with that if you wanted to, but I don't care. And so then it says, and there's a T there. Now, log of 1/3 is a negative number. You guys realize that, don't you?
yeah.
Yes, because the logs look like this. This is 1. And so all of these fractions before 1 are going to be negatives.
Oh, I heard that.
In fact, the log of 1/3 is really this. Because I think this is cool. It's the log of 1 minus the log of 3. But we know what the log of 1 is. The log of 1/3 is minus the log of 3.
Alright, so basically anything in, so ln of like 0 to 1.
Yeah, and log of 0 to 1 is always negative. So then we want to find the limiting value as t goes to infinity. So where's my formula? Yeah, but it's not that bad. You just have to think a little bit. I want the limit as t goes to infinity of 800 minus 300, and it's e to 1/2. Let's make it negative log of 3. T. What's going to happen to this if t is going to infinity? That's really this. It's 800 minus 300 over e to 1/2 log of 3t. That's going to 0. So what's the limiting value? 800. Yeah, so it's really not that bad. So I think you're ready for your test.